Hello. I don't think anybody's on yet, or if people are going to join me, it's hard to say. I know this was last minute, but thank you for those that are going to tune in and for those that are going to be watching this when it's already saved, so as a replay. So welcome. I decided to do this video because, of course, so many people deal with this issue, and it's something that I dealt with for sure when I was going through perimenopause and menopause. It was a big thing. Energy, the lack of energy, feeling like, oh, just so depleted and so tired. And I know that because as women, we do a lot of women are doing a lot of things, as well as working full time, still taking care of the home. Maybe you're still taking care of some kids, or you have your parents that you're taking care of. So yeah, it can be a lot, and it puts a lot of stress on you. And I just realized I didn't put any lip stuff on, so oh well. That's not gonna look good. Anyways, so where I want to start is I'm going to talk about, of course, if you're watching, even if you're watching this as a replay, please feel free to post your questions and comments, like questions in the comment below, and definitely comments would be great too, because I will go back and I will look at those throughout the day and I can answer. So hello, whoever, Jen, hi Jen, how are you doing? Thanks for joining. I can look at the comments and stuff all day, and so I will be able to answer them. I know I put this training out really last minute, but what the heck, you'll be able to see it. As long as you're part of this group, it's always going to be here. So what I hear, of course, like I said, is lots of times how women are lacking energy. And so, oh, I think someone else, hi Brenda. And that is so common, right? I mean, we try to do so many things. And when you're in midlife, often, as we know, there's so many changes going on in your body. And I know I say that when midlife, and I have many people following me, like me, I'm only 53 and I'm over it, right? Like over it. But still, our hormones are always changing. And that's the thing, we are always changing. I don't think there comes to a point, there may in the early 30s, where you kind of stay the same for a long period of time. But really, we're really changing all the time. And it requires us to continually take care of ourselves. Now, if our body sends us signals, symptoms, as in symptoms, if we're having uncomfortable symptoms, that means that something's not right. So that means we need to look at it. What is going on? I mean, it could be the food, right? It could be the food. It could be something we're doing. It could be that we're doing too much. It could be the way we're thinking, the way we believe, what we believe, the energy we're surrounded by, the people we're surrounded by. All those things contribute to what's going on. So I'm going to start with some of the causes, and we're going to go over that. So I'll be looking down at my computer every once in a while because I just got things written here. Now, hormones, of course, are a big part of it. And it's a huge topic, so I'm not going to go into all the hormones, of course. But when you're going through perimenopause, menopause, your body's going through a lot of changes, which affect hormones. They can affect your hormones and glands, such as your adrenal glands and your thyroid, which work really closely together. So if somebody has an issue with their thyroid, which you may have never had it before until you got into this phase, same with women who are pregnant. And pregnancy is also a time of huge hormone fluctuations. So some women, when they're pregnant, can end up with thyroid issues, can end up with the even diabetes. So we know that hormones they actually affect every gland, like every organ in our body when our hormones are off and they're not working properly. So know that this phase of your life, you have a lot of shifts and a lot of changes and a lot of things going on. Now, is it easy to figure them all out? No, but you need to look at certain things. So if you go to your regular doctor, so if you're feeling really fatigued, really tired, really exhausted, I totally recommend going to your doctor, getting checked out. So you want to get things checked out to make sure that how they would say you're okay. So you leave the office, you got a clean bill, you're okay. Even though you still feel terrible, right? Just means that they haven't found anything that's so serious that showed up. Next thing, go to a naturopathic doctor. Go to somebody who's going to test you in a different way. And that's where you can get your adrenals checked, and that's where you can get your good iron levels checked, and that's where you can also get thyroid check, right? So you could have issues being so tired with your iron. Maybe you need to take more iron. And I suggest, did I bring it here? No. A liquid iron that Floridex liquid iron, and that does not constipate you. And that's what I've been on, because I've had almost anemia many since I was in my 20s. So it's just something I'm always concerned about. Another thing is to look at vitamin B12. If you're a vegan, if you don't eat eggs, if you don't eat a lot of meats, look at your vitamin B12, because that can vitamin B's, lack of vitamin B's, B12 can make you very tired. So vitamin B. Also, make sure that you're taking a vitamin D3 complex. Vitamin D3. Make sure you're taking your vitamin D. That's another reason you could feel really low in energy. So you want to cover those bases first, right? You want to cover your iron, your B12, see if you're low on all of those, and be taking some vitamin D for sure, right? So you want to do that. And then, so with the hormones, I'm just seeing what else I have here, where it kind of ties into stress. So we're going to talk about how the stress affects your hormones, how the hormones affect the stress, right? So stress in your life can be like a main cause of how tired you are. And I know a lot of people say, well, I'm just stressed, or I don't really feel like I'm stressed. I don't really know if that's it, but I'm stressed all the time. So that's okay. I'm used to it. I've been stressed my whole life. I can't see how that's causing it. Well, again, if you are anywhere close to midlife, things are changing, things are different. So what used to work and what used to matter and what used to be the way it was when you were younger is not the same now. You react to stress differently. Your body reacts to stress differently. Your body's already going through some major change in stress within itself. So then when you still have all the stress from your outside life, that just is magnified. Because when we go through these hormone shifts, we're also kind of put in more of an overwhelm. It's like the chemicals in your, so they're the chemicals in your brain. And so it's like you can't, it's like things are just mumbled and jumbled, right? Just like in adolescence, a girl going through an adolescence, same thing. We got to remember, it's like adolescence all over again. So we know their mood swings. We know their confusion, their up and down of emotions. You could be going through that too. So not only do you still have the regular stress in your life you've always had, you have these issues with these ups and downs and craziness, which causes you to feel like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? Which adds to more stress, which if you're around a spouse or your family, they could think you're going crazy. They don't understand you. So then that causes a lot more stress. You're all of a sudden too tired, overwhelmed, and stressed and to do your job regularly, maybe at work. And then what if your boss comes down on you? What if people start reacting and saying things to you like, you should be, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? So hello, whoever jumped on, Julie, I think. So that, yeah, good morning. That makes a big difference because you know you're changing inside. You know there's something right. You feel the changes. You feel the craziness. You feel the stress. You feel the overwhelm. But people around you are going, what's wrong with you? Why are you all of a sudden acting like that? And then you get put into, I don't know what's going on. So it can be a very confusing, frustrating, and lonely time. You feel like no one understands you. And that, of course, leads to stress. And so what happens is our body gets in this high stress vibration constantly. So we overproduction of cortisol, right? And so what happens then is that your adrenal glands are just putting out so much cortisol. And we know what happens then. There's quite a few things can affect your weight. You will put on weight. Blood sugar levels all over the place. So you're craving foods like crazy, which when you eat them, it puts on more weight, right? And then you can't lose weight when you are under stress. So that's this whole thing. That's how it affects. And your energy levels are plummeting and plummeting. So the hormones, as your ovaries are producing less estrogen. So then what else can produce estrogen is your adrenal glands. If you're stressed all the time, your adrenal glands get exhausted. So then fat around your midsection will produce estrogen. So then your body goes into fat production mode, especially around your midsection, so that they can try and balance the hormones, the estrogen. Because, right, they're trying to make you feel better. So you see what I mean? Like your low energy can be caused by adrenal fatigue, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. That's caused by the stress. That's caused by the hormone production that's going on in your body, or the lack of hormone production, right? So all these things just compile on you at this phase of your life and just add more and more and more and more stuff. And so that's a big part of it. Now, adrenal fatigue, we're going to talk just a little bit about that because Often when women say they're so tired, they're so exhausted, oh my God, I don't know what to do. You could be in or in the beginning of adrenal fatigue. And at first you could feel really high energy, really good, like blah, 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 blah. And then what happens is you stay at that too high stress for too long, puts so much wear on your adrenal glands, they begin to get tired, exhausted, stop working properly. And that's when you feel the decline in energy and begin to really crash. You get, you actually, I want to just tell you some of the symptoms. Oh, here, they're right here. I have them written down, just don't want to miss any. You could actually get allergies, feel more respiratory problems, asthma starts to act up, dark circles and puffiness under your eyes, dizziness, dry skin, extreme weakness, frequent urination, joint pain, loss of muscle tone, so weakness, a lot of weakness, loss of muscle tone, low blood pressure, low blood sugar. So all of that, and low sex drive, of course, that's a big one. Lower back pain, so that's again the aches and pains, numbness in your fingers, weight gain, like we said, and headaches, and just digestive problems and not feeling good. So the adrenal fatigue can cause a whole bunch of other symptoms, and we don't even know where they come from or what they're related to. So it seems like this big cluster of stuff begins to happen. Well, that could, not positive, that's when you go to a naturopath, you get the adrenal gland test. If that's what it is, you go on supplements, you begin to get more rest, more sleep, you begin to feel better and get your energy back. And that's when you really notice, oh my God, I feel totally different. That happened to me when I was going through perimenopause. I was a personal trainer, yoga instructor. I ended up in adrenal fatigue, bonked right out, like to the extreme. I had to have huge cups of coffee, and that didn't even get me through the day. And note that too much coffee also is not good for adrenal fatigue. It will actually make it worse because it stimulates you and keeps you in this high stress state, and that stresses your adrenals and exhausts them even more. So you got to cut way back on that and get rid of that for a little time and take supplements and get rest. That's how to get over adrenal fatigue, and it takes a little while. And adrenal fatigue, how serious it is I'm just going to read something here. The changes occur in your carbohydrate, protein, and fat metabolism. So of course they cause weight gain, right? Fluid buildup, electrolyte balance, heart and cardiovascular system. So it can affect all those areas. And high levels of cortisol suppress your immune system, so you will actually get sick more, not feel good. And so that leads, if you keep suppressing your immune system, that's when you're open to disease and illness, and that's what's so serious about this whole thing, right? So there's various stages, and when you get into the low stages of adrenal fatigue, if you don't take care of yourself, you could end up in an autoimmune disease, could end up with allergies, bad food sensitivities, disease, and illness. So that's how serious it is. Get it checked out, right? And you all probably are noticing cravings of salty foods, sugary foods, fatty foods, things like that, just like when you're going through the other hormonal fluctuations. Okay, so that's adrenal fatigue. Very, very important. Get that checked out. Food. How can food affect your energy? Well, I think a lot of people kind of have that idea. They know that it does. But sometimes people don't really understand where they're going wrong with the food. And I find when I talk to women, most of the time it's in the morning. So when you wake up, and if you don't have a lot of water when you first wake up, and you're just having your coffee and then maybe a piece of toast with peanut butter, and then you're going on for your day. If you are even close to middle age, that is not the way to start your day. That will not give you the energy. It'll actually slow you down, make you feel heavy, make you feel more tired. It's not good for brain function. You'll probably feel foggy-headed, unable to think, not really clear. So that's a big part of it. And I have done a video, you guys, on how to start your day the healthy way, like about eating in the morning in this Facebook community. So check that out, because I show you a whole bunch of things and give you some good ideas. So I won't go into it all now, but it's really important in the morning that you start with your water, you start with your lemon juice, right? Lemon juice. And you can add, if you want, ginger into it. You can add turmeric. You can add some coconut oil and some pepper, and you can make that whole turmeric drink too, which really helps your any inflammation in the body. It's really good for health. But a most important thing, drink lots of water in the morning, and with your lemon, which is high alkaline. High alkaline starts the metabolism, it's good for your detoxing, good for your skin. And so you want to have lots of that in the morning. And then even if you have coffee or tea, because I still have my coffee, don't worry about that. Just make sure you get tons of water in. And then, of course, 2 green smoothies a day, always one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and that's going to help exactly give you more energy. And now I have, of course, like I said, try some of the super powders. I've talked about these in that morning breakfast, a video 2 on this site. So getting some super powders into your smoothies in the morning, and they have the vitamins and minerals, essential fatty acids, amino acids, all of those things, plus that give you energy. They're high alkaline, and high alkaline foods give you energy, right? The highly acidic foods and the heavy starchy foods will bog you down, make you feel heavy, slow you down. Things like eating more potatoes, eating the pasta, eating the breads, eating the processed food, eating the junk food, eating anything with preservatives in it. So the food's very important at this time. Now, does that mean you have to give up everything you love? No, not at all. I want you to focus on eating 80% really good and 20% having some of those other foods. So when you're doing your plate of foods, you want to have the least amount, if you have any, heavy starches. Now, carbohydrates, a lot of people, this whole low carb diet thing is really out there. And the stupid thing about it is, because they're talking about simple carbohydrates and breads and stuff, they're not talking about vegetables, because all vegetables are carbohydrates. Bananas are carbohydrate. They're not, we don't want you to get rid of carbohydrates, right? Now, bananas are energy food. Before a workout or a hike or a walk, bananas are some of the best things. Hey, Debbie, bananas are some of the best things you can have. So we know there's many fads. The low carb now seems to be another fad again. But what that means is just get rid of the breads, the pastas, all those, even the gluten-free breads and pastas and scones and all those things. Just have those a little bit, just a little bit, right? You don't need a lot of them. So on your plate, you want to have most veggies. You want to have a lot of veggies, a lot of greens. Maybe if you still choose to have a bit of fish or meat, make that a small portion. If you have a little bit of starch, make that the smallest portion. Now, another thing that can bog you down and lack energy is your digestive system. So if your digestive system, hello, whoever popped on, oh, that's Debbie again. Hi, if your digestive system is slow, is sluggish, is heavy because of what you're eating, you're going to feel a lot tired. That's going to drag down your energy too, right? So one way to check that is that makes a big difference, is food combining. So you can Google food combining, and you can get some of the food combining rules. Now, keep it simple. That big simple rule is no potato starch, like heavy starch, breads, potatoes, pastas, rice, with a meat protein. Don't add those in the same meal, because your stomach only produces one enzyme to produce the enzymes to either digest a carbohydrate or the protein. And then, so one of those things is not going to get digested very well. So no rice or pasta or potatoes or whatever with meat protein, but you can have the starches with vegetables or greens, no problem. Or you can have the meats with vegetables or greens, no problem. That's all. That's the simplest form of food combining. And that'll make a big difference if you're experiencing bloated, uncomfortableness, really feeling terrible after you eat a meal. Check out how you're combining your foods. So check that on Google. And if you are eating heavy foods, you will lose energy. So you might notice after you've had a big meal at Christmas or a big family gathering, that's another reason. So how you eat completely affects your moods. They have proven that people who consume a lot of the starchier foods, the preserved foods, like with the preservatives, the packaged food, the pre-prepared food, all the deep fried foods, all of those, and do not eat much of the veggies or greens, that what happens is it dumbs them down. It's the simplest way I can say it. It affects your brain and chemicals in your brain to the point where you're foggy, you're walking around in a fog. It's like you can't really remember things. They get very emotionless, like they get very and I know you probably know some people like this. Just go into certain places like Walmart or something and walk, terrible to say, but Some of the people who eat a lot at fast food places, who are very heavy, very toxic body, that is, they consume a lot of foods that aren't real, the fast junky foods, all those toxins and things build up in the body. They affect your brain because they're chemicals, they're toxins. They affect everything in your body. Your organs, your brain, your cells are not being fed because they don't feed their body the proper nutrients. So then things don't work properly. Now, it doesn't make, that's the simplest way of saying it. If you don't feed your cells that make up your brain, that make up your organs, that make up your glands, which secrete the chemicals that run your body. What about your nervous system that doesn't feed your nervous system, that doesn't feed your blood properly? How is that going to affect how you feel, how you think, how you look, your emotions, your stress? Thanks for the likes. Every aspect of your body. So just think about that. People who do not feed their body properly can't function properly in this world. Really, they can't think clearly. They can't stay focused. They just want to dumb themselves out by watching the TV, by playing all those video games, by just being in a place where they don't have to think, feel, or react in any way, right? So if you want to be the clear thinking, if you want to be the creative, if you want to have energy, if you want to do any type of sports, if you want to do any type of anything, you need to fuel your body right. You need to eat the right foods, because if you don't, that's when our energy level starts to plummet. So we went over how the hormones affect the energy. If you just joined us, watch from the beginning, because that's where I specifically cover how the hormones affect your energy, how your adrenal glands and stress. And that's number one to me, is stress. I think that's how most of what the problem with most people in energy is, the stress. And you may think, I don't really have stress in my life. Go back, watch the beginning of this video. You'll see what I'm talking about and how stress completely affects your energy. And then we've talked about the food, which most people know. So you're talking about more greens, more vegetables. I want to say more fruits, but I don't eat a lot of fruits. That's me. My body does really well on vegetables and greens. So it's also getting to know your body. What does your body feel good on? I have a good friend who does really well on tons of fruits. She's eats really high rod though, but I mean, not everybody needs to be like that. But her body loves lots of fruits. She feels fantastic eating more fruits. I don't. So that's what I mean. It's really finding what works for you. I also know somebody who does way better having like more protein. So they have a really lean proteins and they have tons and tons of veggies. They feel great. They feel perfect. Whereas for me, if I have meat, protein, or too much of that, I get heavy, I get constipated, I feel terrible, right? So food, yes, affects it. And the main things you need to watch is gluten, dairy, wheat, of course, is part of the gluten, preservatives, which are toxins, which build up in your body and completely change everything. So read all labels. They are hidden. Anything that says spices, anything that says natural flavorings, anything you will read, any flavored tortilla chips, any flavored potato chips, any flavored crackers, any bought cookies, any gluten-free boxed items or packaged items, all have tons of preservatives. Breads that sit on the shelf, anything that sits on the shelf, almond milk that's on the shelf, hemp milk that's on the shelf. The only type I recommend is the stuff that's in the cooler, in the freezer. And read all ingredients. Canned food is brutal. Jarred fruit is brutal. Even Big's pickles have preservatives in them. So this world is full of toxins right now in our food. If you go into a grocery store, almost everything in the grocery store is full of toxins. That means shopping in the produce and being really aware and reading labels and buying organic canned stuff and still reading the labels, because, you know, makes a difference. So when your body is full of toxins, that's what I'm talking about now. So this is part of the food and low energy. Of course, like if you think about it, you're giving your body stuff that's almost like poison. So in the cereals and all that, they're like, this little amount is totally safe and fine. So the FDA passes it. Well, the problem is that everybody eats a whole bunch of different things every day. So it's not like we're just eating that little bowl of cereal. So that little bit of toxin in the cereal preservatives is okay. No, every day you're eating packaged foods, You know, you're eating fast food, you're eating all this stuff from all over the place. So you're building up toxins within your body all day, all the time. And if, especially by the time we've hit this age, it's been a lot of years we've built up those toxins. And if we take any Sinutab, if we take any aspirin, if we take any over-the-counter drugs, if we take any prescription drugs, more toxins, more stuff going into our body, right? And this just builds up and builds up and builds up. For one, it leads to weight gain because we need to hold our toxins in our fat. That's where our body holds the toxins, in tissues and fat. And then because they can't be metabolized, our body kind of like doesn't know what to do with them. And then if you think about, we're putting something in our body that's not good for it. So it's going to react and try to get it out. And it's going to be working hard. It's like our little warriors are going to work and trying to kill those bad things that are in our body. But the bad things keep coming, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. Our army's going to get awfully tired, right? They're going to be like, I'm exhausted of fighting. I just can't fight anymore. Oh my God. So all those things and all the stress it adds to our body causes our immune system to go down. Then we're getting sick. Then we're opening ourselves up for disease and illness. So you see how serious this is? It's not just about energy, and I know that's what I'm talking about, but you got to realize that if you're really lacking energy, why? What are the causes? And if you don't get it figured out or work towards getting it better, what is it going to end up and what's it going to do in your body? So that's what I'm talking about. You need to see and feel the seriousness of it so that you know, oh my God, I need to do something about it. And you know, at a really deep level, it's time to change this. So what else do we have? Oh, some more about what could be causing low energy. So we've dealt with the physical stuff and we've dealt with the food and the hormones and the stress. Does anybody have any questions? If you have any questions or comments, just post them right now and I will get to you. Or about anything else. Anything else. I'm totally open to answering questions on anything else. Sorry. And then I'm going to talk about how there's some things that you may not even realize are causing the decrease in energy. And what I noticed when I was working for years in a job that I wasn't really liking, it was like, it stole my energy. And you know, they call it energy sucking or soul sucking jobs and stuff. That's true. That can be exactly what happens. That can be exactly what happens. So some people may work a 9 to 5 and then have a really busy life, which is crazy. Yeah, you know what I mean. And then go, oh my God, I'm so tired. I don't know what's wrong with me. I just can't seem to get up. I can't seem to get motivated. And especially if you want to make changes in our life, it could be, let me see. I'm just going to look at this question, guys. So let me see. What stone is the pendant? Oh, good question. That's so funny. I have to look it up. I don't know. You know, I buy all these things, Julia. I buy so many. And then I actually wire wrapped this one. I buy so many and I forget what they are. I know. I'll take a good picture of it and post it. I forget what it is though. I really like it. I love rough stones, rough ones. But if you were in a job or if you're in a situation or if you're in a time of your life where you're not happy with things and you know there's something more you want to do, maybe you have unfulfilled passion, you have something you want to do in life, you know what? That's going to suck your energy. That's going to bring you right down. So I don't know if anybody here is feeling that. If anybody is in that situation right now, that will suck your energy. And the thing is that you could be healthy otherwise. Usually not, because when our moods are continually under that stress and unhappiness, it usually does lead to us not being a well person, right? But it's really sad if that's what's causing you to go downhill, right? So I want you to take a look at, is there something in your life you're not happy with? Is it all of it? And what changes can you begin to make? Now, if there's, you know, when I was in this job where I wasn't happy, I mean, for years and years, it was that I needed to do that as a single mom and support myself. So I had to understand that. I'm like, this is just where I need to be right now. So what I did was my outside life contained a lot of things that I loved to do. I'd always make sure that I was following some sort of passion, following some sort of thing in my life outside of work that I loved to do. So I want you to think of what are 3 really important values to you? And are you nurturing those values each day? So a thing like, I'll just use mine, like freedom, health, and joy. So freedom is my number one. Health, I need health for freedom. And then joy. So each day I do something that brings me joy. And each day I do something that helps me improve or maintain my good health. You see what I mean? And so some people who are artists inside, who are I'm very creative too, that's why I do things like this. But I need to create too. I need to create. And if I don't create, if I don't put my message out, thank you, like this, what I'm doing now, I start to feel depressed and down and unfulfilled. And my energy starts to go right down, and I become unmotivated, and I actually think like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? I'm in a slump. I'm in a funk. So if you are saying to yourself, I'm in a slump, I'm in a funk, something's not right, then either you're not creating, so there's an expression inside of you that needs to come out. You're not happy with an aspect of your life that you want to make changes, but you think you can't, so you feel stuck. Or the energy you're surrounding yourself with. It could be the people in your life. It could be your job, like at work, where it's very negative energy. You could be people in your life or in your family watching very negative TV shows or around you, so you're absorbing that energy and you don't really understand why or how that's affecting you, but it's making you feel very low in energy. So there's a lot of other things in our life that can cause our energy to go down. So it's really about becoming aware. What could it be? Looking at different aspects of your life and seeing, what am I not happy with, or what doesn't feel right inside of me? What doesn't feel right? And I find that so many women are in this midlife phase, taking care of their family, raise their kids, It's kind of like it's their time now, and they're realizing, and that's what happened to me. You kind of come into this realization and you're like, something's missing. So everything's kind of quieted down. You're not taking care of everybody else, and you have time for you. And that's when it brings up those things, and you start to think, what am I not doing? I'm missing something. Something's not fulfilled in my life. I feel the need to do this. And then the other part of you goes, oh, but you can't. You have too many responsibilities. You can't just go do that. Don't be crazy. Don't be silly. What are you thinking? And so that whole thing gets caught up in your head. And that's when, again, we begin to get down and go into a little bit of a depressed phase. Boredom. And that's if we are bored. We may have lots to do, a lot of little things to do, but you're actually bored because none of the things that you are doing gives you joy or gives you fulfillment. And so that will make you feel lack of energy. All right. Well, I've covered a lot, and I'll just ask if anybody has any questions or comments. How are you feeling? If you guys could type in, how are you feeling? Or if anybody's even watching this in replay, do you feel a lack of energy? How are you feeling? Like, how is it affecting you? Are you to the point where it's like, I feel so tired, I can barely function during the day? Or do you feel I have energy at certain times of the day, then completely none in other times of the day? Kind of write your experience. Or maybe if you've had an aha moment and go, oh, that's totally it. I see in my life what's affecting my energy. But we all know we need to take control of that part of our life, right? It's us. It's our responsibility. It's something that we need to make. If we're feeling not right about a certain situation, that's telling us we need to change that. So any comments or any questions about any of that, or anything else that you have a question about relating to health or wellness or hormones, I'll just let you guys. Ooh. And because that's a lot of what I wanted to cover, I'm going to just check out this other thing. Blood sugar levels, right? So what you eat, as in, let's see. as what you eat like throughout the day, so that your blood sugar levels stay level, will make a huge difference in your energy as well as cravings. So you want to make sure you're getting lots of fiber, and that's fiber in the vegetables and the greens, and a mixture of, it's always good to get a mixture of lots of raw food and some cooked food too, right? And some starches, like I said, are not bad, not all of them. I'm frustrated and forgetful. Thanks for reminding me to get busy and take care of me. Yeah, that's good. Although, Brenda, you notice how you said get busy, right? Which is quite funny, yeah. The whole get busy thing. We tend to think that. We tend to think there's things I gotta do to help myself, right? Just note that that's where your mind tends to go, to all the things you gotta do. And it's not always what you gotta do. It's what you want to feel or be, more so. And I know you're such a caretaker and caregiver, and yeah, just really doing those things. Even if you write out 3 things, like when I talked about the core values, what your 3 core values are and how you're going to nurture them every day. Set up a practice, Brenda. Well, you know, my morning ritual. Set up a practice where each day you're doing something to nurture a few different, like 3 things. Like for me, you know, it's I go for coffee in the morning, do my work, read my book, do my journal writing. That makes me, I love that. That's my joy. Talking to you guys, doing videos, that's my joy too. Cooking healthy food, but I don't do that every day. But I make sure I do something every day that brings me joy, makes me feel connected and at peace. Reading angel cards. That can be one thing. Like, so that's one thing, like one of those things. And then another one could be writing out a good journal on how you want to create your life, or writing out affirmations or intentions and reading them over and over. That could be another thing. So that could be 2. And then the third thing you could say, like, if it's nice outside, whatever I can do to go out and go for a walk or move my body or sit on the rug and or on your floor and do some nice gentle stretching while you breathe, right? Breathe and do some nice stretching and listen to some good music or something. See how you can plan something. It can change every day, but 3 things. So kind of have 3 ideas for each day how you can include, and they can be little bits, 1 in the morning, 1 midday, 1 at night, something like that. You know, Brenda, that's what I think is really important for you, to just pick little things like that and just be, right? Just be and do something that brings you joy and that you love. Try that. I think that'll make a difference. How true. Thanks again. We'll slow it down. We'll set up my daily practice. Start at Transfer Beach. Yeah, like if, you know, the days you can make it there. Of course, right? So whatever days you can make by water. Today it's pouring rain here. I don't know what it's like there, but I don't think I'll be going to the beach today. But I am going to a coffee shop where I can sit and do some journaling, which I haven't done that yet. I'm going to do that and totally enjoy myself. So thank you for people who watched. I so appreciate it. Feel free to continue to ask questions, place comments, and I love to hear your comments and suggestions for new topics, videos, things you want me to do. And if you have a recipe that you want me to make into another healthier recipe, like if you have something you're like, oh, I would love to learn how to make this healthier, put that out there and I will try to do my best. I love doing that because I like creating in the kitchen. Going to the gym today. Good, Julia. You know what? I should too. Good one. I'm going to go to the gym today. You know what I like doing at the gym? I love going on a cardio machine and watching the Food Network. Love watching the Food Network. Makes time go so fast. Okay, everybody, thanks for joining. For those who are watching the replay, thanks for watching. Continue to ask questions. And I have lots more videos on this page and also on YouTube at Diana Marchand. And I do have programs because I can assist you, guide you, support you going through this change in your life. You can see my programs at dianamarchand.com under Work With Me. Great start to the day, yes. Now let's get going. Woohoo! See you guys later. Bye.